Bow 2 is a strong kata that requires rooted stances and smooth footwork. In this form, you perform combinations in 4 directions. The embusan, or floor pattern, is in the shape of a plus sign. Technically, Bow 2 is a relatively simple form. The challenge lies in performing each move correctly. This requires speed, strength, and accuracy. Begin the kata with a standard Kung Nu bow bow. Assume a right forward stance as you snap the staff into a ready position. Chamber and execute a right to left downward diagonal strike. Step into left diagonal stance with a left to right downward diagonal strike. Shift into left side stance with a thrust. Thrust to your right. Then step into forward stance with a downward vertical strike. Step into right diagonal stance with a right horizontal strike. Finish in a left turtle stance with a left low strike and ki. Bring your left foot into parallel stance as you perform a high horizontal block, followed by a low horizontal block. Slide into left side stance with a right downward vertical strike. Slide into left side stance with a right downward vertical strike. Slide back to left side stance with a middle level thrust. Step into right turtle stance with a downward diagonal strike. Flow into left forward stance with a downward diagonal strike. Slide into right side stance with a middle level thrust. Perform a right side kick as you thrust to your left. Land in a right forward stance with a downward vertical strike. Drop into turtle stance with a low strike, followed by a left forward stance and a downward diagonal strike. Look to your right, then to your left as you bring your left foot back into a right forward parallel stance. Bring your right foot back to attention stance as you bring the tip of the bow to your right side. Anchor it against your lower leg as you bow. Step out into natural stance as you snap the staff into a ready position. The bunkai, or applications to Bow 2, can be divided into 2 series. Series 1 begins with an opponent charging in with a number 1 strike. Block with a number 1 strike of your own before stepping through and knocking the staff from his hand. Slide in with a thrust to the midsection. Thrust high to stop the second opponent's attack. Then, strip his hand from the staff with the vertical strike. Use the tail end of your horizontal strike to complete the disarm. Finish the opponent with a strike to the knee. It's important you don't leave any opponent in a position to continue the attack. In Series 2, use a high horizontal block against a downward strike. Continue into a low block. These blocks could easily target the hands. Hook his left hand as you strike down, then strip his right hand on the return strike. Attempt to finish with a thrust to the midsection. However, the opponent hollows out and grabs your staff. Escape the grab using the chamber position as you drop into a strike to his knee. Finish with a strike to the head. A second opponent grabs your bow and attempts to pull it from your grip. Instead, pull him into a side thrust kick. Land down with a vertical strike to his head. Then drop down and attack his knee. Rise back up and finish with a strike to the head.